stars of the night, gleaming from the moisture in the morning.
Mr. Bell, you want to introduce us?
This is another adventure of the Nautilus M31 Studio Files, and this morning we have with us Mimi, and I didn't even catch your last name.
Genheimer.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have her spell that for us in a while. But anyhow, we're interviewing Mimi today, and we're going to learn more about all the things that make her tick. So here we go.
All right.
And my key interrogator, Mr. Yves Giraud, is going to start off.
I like
Take
the way
it
you pronounce that.
Yeah.
It's very exotic. All right, well, welcome. And yes, the first question, Mimi, for you. I think it'll be an easy one. We're going to start with an easy one.
Where were you born?
Exactly.
Right.
Where were you born? Where are you from?
I was born at the Fairview Hospital in Wyoming, Minnesota.
Wow, that's
To get
specific.
specific,
All right.
yeah.
I like it.
I know I have my birth certificate and I know where it is, which feels
you know
like
what time?
a really impressive adult thing.
It is.
It's something around 10:17 a.m.
Wow,
there.
around.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
I could be wrong.
Between
but
17 and 18.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
somewhere after 10,
where
but
you
before
made your
10:30.
first
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is only a birth related story. It has nothing to do with the interview, but I was basically mostly born and the doctor had not, washed his hands and put on his gloves. And my dad was like, well, my baby's about to just hit the floor, man. Like, can you do something?
Yeah.
And the doctor was too worried about being sanitary. So my dad actually ended up catching me.
Awesome. Wow.
The doctor was too busy trying to wash his hands.
Oh my goodness, his timing
That's a good
was
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout
Never
out
heard that.
Peter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for Dad being there.
So that's
For
really the
sure.
beginning.
That's
Is
why. Yeah.
luckily
You were
Yeah.
already
I
just...
didn't hit
wow.
my head, and
yeah, I
that's why
thought
I'm
that
here.
hitting your head was going to be a big part of
Yeah.
the rest of your
It could have been a very
Which
different interview.
explains...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have nothing to explain how I am.
So you stay in Wyoming? Or
No,
what?
Why the town of Wyoming,
I was gonna
state
say-
of Minnesota.
Yeah,
State of-
and I was going to
I'm
say...
sorry.
That's why I
yeah,
said it, because I knew it'd be confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
see too many towns that are named by another
state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
That is very true. Yeah.
No, I spent my whole childhood in Minnesota. My parents still live in the house I grew up in,
Okay.
and I, against my internal expectations of myself, I also went to college in Minnesota in St. Paul, and then while I was in college was when I started working in Glacier National Park during the summer times. And that's what connected me to Montana, which I moved to Montana after graduating college and lived there until I
okay.
moved here in 2021.
Wow.
You moved here in 21. Okay, I didn't know that.
At the end of
yeah.
2021.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
we're in Montana.
I was living in Whitefish.
Love that area.
Me too.
By Kalispell
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
In Flathead Lake
Yep.
and all that. Oh, I love that area.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to go every fall up into all of upper Idaho, Sandpoint, and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that area.
That's, my partner's from Coeur d'Alene. So
yeah.
we would spend a lot of time. And I did trail crew for a season, and we worked out of Bonners Ferry a few times.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
in the Kootenai and the Knicks.
Such a pretty area, but you
Yeah.
came down to another pretty area.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love being here.
Yeah, good.
So, moving from the town of Wyoming to Montana, was that a personal decision? Was that your family moved there? Or?
No, it was
that's
a
right. Your
personal
family's still in
decision.
the same
Yep,
house.
they're still in the same house, which is in North Branch, Minnesota. You're getting all the Minnesota names now, but yeah, not too, just about an hour north of the Twin Cities.
Okay.
Yeah, and I moved to Montana after having spent 3 summers working in Glacier National Park.
Wow.
I worked in the northeast part of the park in the Many Glacier Valley, serving tables and managing a restaurant there. And then climbing mountains and
Oh, it's such a pretty area.
partying a little bit too.
A little party thrown in. Well, yeah.
But something relevant maybe to this conversation is that I worked at Swift Current Motor Inn and Cabins, and down the road is the historic Many Glacier Hotel, which has a huge musical history.
Oh. Okay. Didn't know
It's like this Swiss lodge Japanese fusion in the decor of the hotel, and then in its early days in the main restaurant and dining hall, they would have singing waiters and live piano. And by the time I was working there, that was no longer the case, but they were still maintaining the history of music in the hotel with a hootenanny every Sunday.
Oh.
So every Sunday night I would, drive my minivan or walk myself or find an old bike and go to the hotel, and we'd play music for the guests for like an hour. And there was a group of us who, worked at the various lodges or worked for the boat company or for even the park service, and we'd put together a set and do a hootenanny.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Another question for you. So, talking about music, because basically you're here for that.
Yes.
When did you start music? What made you interested in it?
Well, it started before I can remember, but what I'm told is even before I talked, I would sing Happy Birthday. My own version, but phonetically, I don't know how perfect it was, but before I was speaking words, I was singing.
You had the melody going on. Yeah.
And music is on both sides of my family, really. So I was always around it. But I guess formally, I started when I was 5. I asked my parents to learn the violin. I had seen another young kid playing it and was really intrigued by it. Wow. And they took my request into consideration and kind of came back with, let's do piano lessons first. So
instead of the hardest instrument that there is.
They're like, let's get you, and I'm really grateful for it. I did I took lessons on the piano for 10 years, but for 2 years I was just doing piano from age 5 to 7, and it's a really great visual platform for learning kind of basic music fundamentals, but also music theory because you're seeing the notes. It's very spatial. Right. So I did 2 years of piano, and then when I was 7, I was still asking about the violin, and so that's when I started my violin lessons.
Wow.
Okay.
And I was mainly classically trained on the violin, but my teacher was also a fiddle player, and so as I got kind of a foundation, we started moving into a little bit more of improvisation. But throughout high school and even college, I was still mostly doing classical music, and then in college I started doing some more, not even bluegrass or Americana, but exploring improvisation with other musicians, and the hootenannies were great for that as well.
I bet.
It's more you sound bad for a long time, and you just slowly start learning how to sound good.
Yeah, that's right.
But I played it.
And did you take some in college or university or whatever? Did you go for music school or a music degree, or was that okay?
I have I went to a liberal arts school. I didn't end up going to I toured some conservatories, but ended up at a liberal arts university and have a Bachelor of Arts in violin.
Okay.
And also just I'm a chronic creative dabbler, so it was a great place to take philosophy and ceramics and even, like human anatomy and, just a little bit of everything.
Right.
But at the time, I minored in psychology and took some science courses to set myself up to get a master's in music therapy, and then got completely burnt out from academia and
Did you
moved to Montana.
Didn't get your master's?
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. But you're still maybe working on it.
Yeah, there's time.
Yeah, sure. So once you ended up here, right now you're in a band called, well, you might be in several things. I have no idea. I know you're in good.
There's some things in the incubator, but the main group that I'm with right now is Goathead.
Okay, and how did you end up hooking up with those guys? 'Cause that's another group of lunatics.
Yeah, well,
just like all of us.
They found me, and that I think that means I'm a lunatic too.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah, we get along very well. So I think I had already met Bobby and Willie through the acoustic jam at the Dolores River Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of knew them peripherally through that. But Bobby had asked me to sit in on a couple tunes with Last Nickel at a gig they played at Wild Edge.
Okay.
And so I went and played a couple songs with them, and then Mo and Tomo happened to be there that night, and Mo approached me and was like, hey. Mm-hmm. And at that time I think they were going by Harvesters, and it was him and Tomo and Bobby.
Okay.
Playing together.
I think I've seen them with that name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while, but so that's how it started, was at that gig at Wild Edge.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we played another gig as Harvesters, the four of us, and then and then we unearthed that Willie is just such a prolific and excellent songwriter that Goathead was born. Yeah.
Well, and talking about songwriting, so you are also a songwriter.
I am.
And beside the fact that you are a multi-instrumentalist, can you tell me how did you start songwriting beside, learning how to play and everything? What was you remember the moment? Or your first song, maybe?
Yeah, well, I don't know if this was the first occurrence of me attempting songwriting, but I have this memory of writing songs with one of my cousins when she was probably 13 at the time, so I must have been 10 or 11.
Gosh,
and we wrote like 3 songs
late.
together.
Late.
I know, late bloomer. Female
That's
songwriting.
Okay.
But, music was always, I'm always singing something. So,
Right.
Who knows? But I do remember, she and I were really into the idea of writing songs. They were staying with us for a little bit at that time. And, so we would sit down. We had this little Clavinova keyboard with, nice. Do you remember when they had, the floppy disk drive?
Oh, yeah.
Where you could record your little tracks, or you could put tracks in, and we would write songs at the electric piano.
That's a good way to a workstation.
Yeah.
Recently, I went to see you at Zoo Gallery. You were playing piano, and you were doing a score, basically score music for live for some very early Charlie Chaplin movies.
Yeah.
Right? There were 4 of them, and which was awesome. I had never seen any of those because I know the big ones.
Yeah,
obviously,
totally.
But like the small ones, like they're short too, which is very interesting. Were you there, Mr. Bill?
I wasn't. No, I wish
it was really interesting.
It sounded like it was fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. And so, how did you get to why that? Like how do you go from Goathead to this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I've, in the broader sense of chronic, incurable creative dabbling, it applies to smaller spheres of music too. So I love And maybe you resonate with this too, and I don't know if you're a multi-instrumentalist as well, or...
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
For me, playing the fiddle, even like playing the fiddle versus playing, classical music on the violin versus playing a guitar versus playing piano, they all like posture a little differently in my brain. So I love playing fiddle in goat head, and then I also love the challenge of arranging and playing piano for Charlie Chaplin films. It's such a different creative space in my head.
For sure, and it's true that you arrange all that music. Can you tell us how you found? I know you kind of told me a little bit that night.
Sure.
But how do you get this whole process?
Yeah, it was a process, and maybe that's part of what I liked about it as well. Was you have to there's a lot of research involved in sourcing music, so. And a lot of learning happened too. I learned about how, even initially when the films were made, how people would arrange music for them. Or even there were just a lot of musicians at that time who would have, they'd know hundreds of excerpts or tunes for different moods, and they would sometimes show up to play a film never having seen it before and just be which I was not doing that, but I was like, that is so cool to be that kind of accompanist. But I did a lot of research online about the silent film era. There's some cool databases out there where people's private collections are being archived, and they're accessible, and you have to do a lot more wading through things for that. And then there are some publications that are collections of I guess you call it incidental music, or one of the ones I used was called Motion Picture Moods.
Okay.
So it's all it's various classical pieces or even pop pieces in excerpt form, assigned different actions or feelings or locations, so you can kind of page through those. One of the books I used was published in 1924, so even that early on they were publishing these collections. And then there's another one I used that I think was published in the 80s, and I would I should have brought my notebook, but I would watch the films and just take note of different moments or moods, or places where I would see a transition, and then work to kind of assign my own mood or main feeling to it, and then search for the right piece of music.
Right, when they tire to the railroad track. Do you get real dissonant on that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
when somebody falls off a cliff.
Bang. Well, I ended up doing two nights of it, and even the second night I was, because I basically, pick the music, then you have to figure out where sometimes you're vamping because you might not be playing it at the exact same tempo, or a piece of music might not be the right length, so you have to figure out how to adjust it and cut it. So I made whole scores with everything in cues and places where I know to repeat until X thing happens on screen.
Was that recorded? Did anybody record that?
I don't believe it is
That's
recorded.
a shame. It sounded like that was pretty special.
Exactly. You got to be there.
Was Jody...
I don't think she streamed it. Okay. That was an exclusive
that would have been,
sort of night.
The only way.
But I even noticed the second night I was playing around a little more with tempo, or with adding a tremolo and a chord or something. So I could imagine if you do it, if you do that regularly, where you're playing those every month, it evolves really in an interesting way. So I had previous experience writing and scoring for a performance, which definitely helped, probably just on like a confidence level, that I was like, okay, I know I can do this and get into
You've
this
done that
space.
before, yeah.
But it was interesting because the previous experience I'd had was making a show from scratch with people, and I wrote the music and made all these vignettes for the characters and the different scenes.
So it was like almost like a theatrical, like,
yeah,
piece
it
or
was
something?
it was with some really dear friends in the Twin Cities, and our group was called Curiosita, and we wrote a piece called Fat Cat Fall, and it was partially mapped out. There were certain things that were scripted, but then a lot of the people I was working with were in puppetry or clowning or juggling, where there's a lot of play and interaction and improvisation that happened. So as the person who was composing and performing the music, and that all I did on my violin, but that was, you're always adjusting because every performance is different.
Right, sure, of course.
Whereas for Charlie
Right.
Chaplin, it was interesting because I'm collaborating with this person, but it's recorded. And so each time I'm a little different, but
it's
he is the same.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
So it was a slight change in dynamic because there wasn't a two-way conversation happening. But it was really cool to have that one-way conversation with
Are you,
such an incredible and like revolutionary creative for especially comedy.
Yeah.
you mean Charles Chaplin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it again?
It hasn't been talked about yet, but I
Okay.
would love to do something like that again. It's
Knowing you, you're probably going to try to do something slightly different. With it
you
anyway,
gotta like
Yeah.
turn the dial a little bit, not necessarily up, but just
somewhere
in a slightly
Yeah.
different direction. But
Mr. Bill, have you heard Mimi do one of her originals?
I have not, but I did see when you did the duo with was it Kevin?
Kevin.
That you did with. I wanted to ask you, what kind of acts are you playing there?
Yes,
that headstock is familiar, and tell me a little bit about that, just for a little side.
Yeah, we love and I love that guitar, and I'm trying to gig more with that this year.
How did you find that? How'd you come about that? And
So,
what is it?
Yeah, the guitar itself it's not the guitar I have with me today, so everyone just has to imagine. But it's a Reverend Flat Rock.
Oh, a Reverend. Okay.
And it has, the Flat Rock basically has their version of humbucker pickups on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I would love for you to do one of your songs for us. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Do you have an idea of what you would do? And original, of course, right?
Yeah. Well, in the spirit of what's in the incubator for the future this year,
Okay.
and I wanted to play Sorry Baby, which is one of the tunes that I played at the duet night.
Oh.
And in the spirit of, stepping up to the challenge. It's a tune that I feel like is still evolving a little bit. But I've already performed it once, and I find that
this will be
performance
number 2?
is very revealing. So I'm going to learn something about the song by playing it here.
All right. Yeah.
Anyways, okay, that's running. I'm good to see what I can do. No, it's already on. There we go. Okay. No thought is too bad. It's probably one I've also had. Won't say you're scaring me. Just I know it's too heavy. unforgiven porcelain. Fever stuck, the water's not high enough. I'm sorry, baby. It's hard to play. It's hard to activate your diaphragm when you're sitting down and your leg is up.
Yeah. When are you guys playing next?
I think Go Ahead's next show is June 20th at Minkus Brewery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll have to try to catch you in there.
What is it? I'm playing Saturday at the Celtic Fest with sitting in with the band on fiddle.
Where is that?
In Durango.
Oh, okay.
And then April 4th, I'm playing fiddle with Alex Dunn at the pub in Dolores.
Okay, nice.
And then I'm doing that Dolly Parton event in April.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, Go Ahead doesn't play till June, but I'm busy
You're
enough.
busy. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's perfect because I would have asked you what you had coming up.
Yeah.
So we need to know that. And man, that song was really, really nice. So what is it called? I'm sorry?
Sorry, Baby.
Oh, Sorry, Baby. Okay. And do you have an idea of how many songs, including anything you've done, like plays and all, how much stuff you've written?
No, I don't count. I have a lot of, well, you were asking about what I do with Goathead, and I have, like, I've written the two originals that I do with them, I wrote for Goathead.
Oh.
Because a lot of the songs I just write for myself don't tend to be in the Americana genre. So it's a fun practice to, I've done
to explore.
I've done composing for performances, and I've been like, okay, let's write some Americana tunes for this band I'm in, and then to write things that just kind of come out of me. But it's kind of a fun exercise. I like trying to, or like I've had songs where sometimes I'll have lyrics for something and I'll try to put it to two different styles and just see what you find from doing that.
So what are you doing with the songs that you're writing for yourself that aren't Americana? Are they just part of the inventory that can be popped out at any time?
Well, it kind of sounds like you may use them with Kevin.
Yeah, that's the hope,
Oh,
is
is that-
to
because
let
that
a lot
song
of these
did it
songs
together,
see the light of day.
Excellent.
Right now, they're all just on the recording app on my phone. You know?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Don't lose them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, what I'm working on as I've gotten older is, like, I'm such a perfectionist that I like a lot of the songs, when I write them, I hear sonically what I want everything to be, and there's just a lot of different parts to each song and all the sounds that I want to hear or that I do hear in my head.
Yeah.
And for a long time that kept me from wanting to play them for anyone, because I was like, well, when I just play it on an acoustic guitar, that's not what it is, really.
No, it's
That's
much
just-
more than that.
That's one of those. I know that feeling so well. I mean, it's incredible. It's very
like,
hard.
for me, it's
But
like lyrics. I don't always write lyric first and then
Do you do both?
tune. It goes both directions.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have a little lick or a chord progression first. Sometimes the words.
Well, for something like that play you're talking about, I'm assuming that's a different approach. It's not like you suddenly have an idea for music or some lyrics. It's specific. So you have to be able to kind of juggle both sides, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of when I haven't shared music before was because to me the sound of it is so important.
Yeah.
It's not just. I'm not a lyricist. I'm a songwriter.
I didn't realize you got here in late 21 though. So I met you probably by 23, maybe.
Yeah, I feel
went
like
to DRB.
I
We
started
ran,
coming to the jam. I first checked it out probably in January of 2022,
Okay.
and I think I started going to the jam. That
That's where I
winter.
met you the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere.
I used to go
23.
when I could, not all the time, but then once I started doing fence riding too, both my Sundays were like, okay,
too much.
I'm here.
Yeah, it was
can't go
once I
anywhere.
started working there, because I worked there 3 nights a week,
Oh.
and it was just by the time I've
Yeah.
been there for 3 nights working, I don't really.
Where are you working?
At the
At
pub
Yalby?
in Dolores.
Oh, at the pub. Yeah.
Were you serving at the bar? Or?
Yep, bartending.
That's another thing I cannot do. My brain cannot retain all the names of these drinks, and half the time I don't understand what people are saying in a loud environment.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Totally.
So somebody's screaming, what?
What do you
And
mean?
then I'll forget, people won't pay and walk away. I'll be
Yeah.
like, I don't remember. What did I order? I'd be a mess.
Yeah.
I knew
It
that,
kind
yeah.
of it feels similar to accompanying Charlie Chaplin films. Your brain is very stimulated the whole time.
Yeah.